The case of Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell is a chilling story of manipulation, murder, and extreme religious beliefs. It's a tale of two people whose apocalyptic worldview led to the deaths of Lori's two children, Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow, as well as several other individuals connected to them. This case captured global attention not only for its horrifying details, but for the shocking way it unfolded. A series of disappearances, suspicious deaths, and bizarre statements by Lori and Chad that left investigators and the public stunned. In this episode, we'll explore the lives of Lori and Chad, the timeline of events, and the tragedy that has become one of the most infamous cases of recent years. Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell came from seemingly ordinary backgrounds. Lori was born in 1973 and raised in California. She married multiple times, had 3 children, and by all accounts appeared to be a loving mother and devout member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. However, Lori's behavior became increasingly erratic after she became involved in fringe religious beliefs. Chad Daybell, born in 1968, was a self-published author who wrote books about doomsday scenarios, heavily influenced by his own interpretation of LDS theology. Chad claimed to have visions of the future and believed he had been chosen to lead God's 144,000 elect in preparation for the second coming of Christ. Lori and Chad met in 2018 at a religious conference, and their connection was immediate. Both shared an apocalyptic worldview, believing that they were spiritual leaders with a divine mission. Chad's teachings introduced the concept of people being light or dark, a way to categorize individuals as either righteous or evil. This belief would later play a key role in the tragic events that unfolded. In 2018, Lori's life began to unravel. Her marriage to Charles Vallow, her 4th husband, grew increasingly strained as she became more deeply involved in Chad's teachings. Charles expressed concerns about Lori's mental state, even going so far as to file for divorce, and claimed that Lori believed she was a divine being tasked with preparing for the apocalypse. In July 2019, Charles Vallow was shot and killed by Lori's brother, Alex Cox, who claimed it was self-defense. Police initially accepted this explanation, but the circumstances surrounding Charles's death raised red flags that would only become clearer later. Around the same time, Lori's children, 16-year-old Tylee Ryan and 7-year-old JJ Vallow, were last seen alive. Tylee was last spotted during a family trip to Yellowstone National Park in September 2019, while JJ was last seen just days later. Meanwhile, Chad's wife, Tammy Daybell, died suddenly in October 2019. Initially ruled as natural causes, her death would later be re-examined and deemed suspicious. Less than 2 weeks after Tammy's death, Lori and Chad were married in Hawaii, raising further questions about the couple's motives and involvement in the deaths surrounding them. The disappearance of Tylee and JJ became the focal point of the investigation. Friends and family grew increasingly concerned, especially as Lori and Chad gave conflicting statements about the children's whereabouts. Authorities launched a nationwide search, but Lori and Chad fled to Hawaii, where they refused to cooperate with investigators. By early 2020, the disappearance of Tylee and JJ had become a national news story. The public was captivated by the bizarre details of the case, including Lori and Chad's apocalyptic beliefs and their evasive behavior. In January 2020, Lori was arrested in Hawaii and charged with desertion of her children, among other offenses. Despite this, she continued to insist that Tylee and JJ were safe, offering no evidence to support her claims. The breakthrough in the case came in June 2020, when investigators executed a search warrant on Chad Daybell's property in Rexburg, Idaho. What they found was horrifying. The remains of Tylee and JJ buried in shallow graves. Tylee's body had been dismembered and burned, while JJ was found wrapped in plastic and duct tape. The discovery of the children's remains shocked the nation and confirmed what many had feared, that Lori and Chad's apocalyptic beliefs had led to the murders of her own children. The couple was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and other related offenses. Following their arrests, Lori and Chad faced a series of legal battles as prosecutors sought justice for Tylee, JJ, and the other individuals whose deaths were linked to the couple. Lori was also charged with conspiracy to murder her former husband, Charles Vallow, while Chad faced charges related to the suspicious death of his wife, Tammy. Prosecutors argued that Lori and Chad had conspired to kill those they deemed dark spirits or obstacles to their divine mission. The trials were delayed multiple times, partly due to Lori being declared incompetent to stand trial in 2021. After undergoing psychiatric treatment, she was eventually deemed fit to face the charges. Prosecutors painted a damning picture of Lori and Chad's motives, describing how their extremist beliefs had justified their actions in their own minds. They sought the death penalty for both defendants, citing the heinous nature of the crimes and the premeditated manner in which they were carried out. The Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell case remains a haunting example of how religious extremism and manipulation can lead to devastating consequences. It highlights the vulnerabilities of individuals who fall under the influence of charismatic leaders and the dangers of unchecked beliefs. For the families of Tylee and JJ, the case has been a painful journey. They've worked tirelessly to honor the memories of the children, advocating for justice and raising awareness about the warning signs of manipulation and abuse. The public fascination with the case has also spurred discussions about the role of law enforcement, mental health intervention, and the importance of recognizing red flags in relationships and communities. While justice may eventually be served, the emotional scars left by this tragedy will last a lifetime. The story of Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell is a chilling reminder of the dangers of extremism and the devastating consequences of unchecked beliefs. It is a tale of loss, manipulation, and the tragic cost of blind devotion. As we reflect on this case, we remember Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow, two innocent children whose lives were cut short. Their story serves as a call to action, to remain vigilant, to question harmful beliefs, and to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Thank you for joining me as we explored the complexities and heartbreak of the Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell case. If you found this deep dive compelling, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth explorations of history's most infamous and tragic cases.